Oh, he turns into a ham when that's on. Come on, show now what you were doing. Look at him. Look what he's doing. Oh my God. He's getting up higher than that though. It's almost like he's almost ready to stand up. What are you doing? What are you doing? Amari. Look at this. Can you believe this? This is new.
I'm confused.
Huh?
I'm confused.
I'm confused too.
He has a wipe.
That's okay. It's the fact that he's pulling himself up like that. Out of his... Look what he's doing. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You're getting too big for your britches, man. He just started doing this. What are you doing? Oh my. How's his legs? What's making him do that?
I don't know.
Like like he's standing up, almost. Like, look at him. Here he goes. Look at that. What are you doing? That's your first time. Now you know how to do it. Oh my Lord. Oh, look at that. Can you believe this? This is Milestone. This is what I gotta deal with every day. It's enough he flips himself around. Now he's starting to do this. Look at this. You're determined to get that, aren't you? Jeez. Oh my Lord. Oh, you keep your Nana and your cousin busy. Oh, you have to pay attention now, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
He's been doing that earlier today, so I just like...
What, you seen him do pushing himself up like that?
Yeah. Earlier.
You never told me that.
Yeah, because I thought he always does it. I thought he does it like when you're in here.
That's the first time I've ever seen that. Oh my Lord. And you're just a little poop yet. What's going to happen when you get big? I don't know. I was telling him we need to clear out this whole place and get one big mattress on the floor. That ain't happening though. And here he goes again. There's no stopping him now. Oh my Lord.
I had the fan on. He was sweating, so I had the fan on. Has been on for so long. By the way, the fan blew out dust.
It's because the house is dusty.
Okay.
Probably just settled when you turn. It hasn't been on for over a month and a half. We only used it when it was really hot. Wow. Okay, you can turn that off. Okay, second video of the day. Listen.
Goes on. I'm reading nosebleeds, nasal congestion, erosion of the teeth,
something blew up and burned down.
Chest
Well,
pain,
I don't know if it blew up, but it definitely burned down.
Not good stuff. Like I said, this is shutting down a huge yard, the biggest yard. We're talking about a spot
More than one
ton of
manufacturing company
are expected to come through, hauling the stuff that fills
spewing
our stores
chemicals and
so
smoke in
could this
the
be
air
the
and
result
traveling
of
around and
food shortages, delays, inflation, food inflation. Some people speculate it's all on purpose. These damaging explosions, which happen to all be toxic, the relation with food shortages, taking away food options, and certainly inflation along with food inflation. I know you guys have been reporting down in the comments. We're seeing over 100% inflation.
I'm not the only one that talks about this stuff. I just talk about it a different kind of way.
The most expensive inflated food price that you've come across in the last few weeks. I'm telling you, I'm seeing comments of stuff that are up to 150% more than they were just a year or two ago. And I was talking to a friend earlier today. They're asking me, because they know I do a ton of research, what's going to happen? And I'm like, well, there is no indication out there at all of anything getting any better. And all the economists are saying it's going to get worse.
I believe it too.
Opinion, it is. It's going to get worse. Inflation's going to get worse. We don't know how bad, but it's going to get worse. More reason to be supporting local farmers for all your stuff. Create and support.
Assuming their land isn't polluted with all these chemicals coming down in the rain.
That's where I get my butter. I support neighbors that clean raise cows and provide us with milk, cream. I get all of our 100% pure best beef in the world.
What goes up, rains down.
Along with all of our consumer goods. You have to either support or create your own alternate economy. You can't support that which we're complaining about. Every dollar you spend at Walmart, Home Depot, all the conglomerate-owned companies, you're supporting the beast and you're supporting things that are funded that we complain about. Enough about that. Bottom line, you guys need to be prepping. You need to be thinking ahead. Emergency preparedness. Try to do things as clean as possible out there. Again, if you're concerned about the air in your homes from all the craziness, watch that video right up there. And if you still don't have a quality water purifier, I go over a really good one, or you should be buying
I have
one
charcoal.
similar to that in that video. You guys want to know more about
Water
what they're
purifying
putting in our
tablets.
food, I go over a bunch of that
Pots
stuff
to
in
make
those
a
videos right there. Stay on guard out there.
water
Keep it on
filter
swivel,
system
as
like
I
a
know more.
Berkeley,
Keep you guys
Berkeley
posted.
only you
Start
use
keeping
charcoal,
it
right?
See you on the next one.
Can this weird calf exercise
So
help
anyway.
arteries and boost the heart's health and
Anyway,
blood flow?
hold on a
Should you
minute.
Stop doing long cardio like the treadmill if you have heart issues. Hey, it's Joe, best-selling author and YouTube's #1 most popular heart health expert. Now, if you didn't know, the key to a healthy heart could be hidden in our calf muscles. In fact, the connection between our calf muscles and our heart is so strong that they're actually considered our second.
Okay, so the last video that I just uploaded, the mango alert one, is buffering on YouTube, but I'm having issues with my internet providers, so I don't know if it's that, or I had to put that video onto a flash drive, which doesn't provide all its quote-unquote properties, because my Windows 7, I'm having a glitch in there and not wanting to log on to the internet, and I didn't feel like waiting however long just to upload it. I just wanted to shut it down, so I put it on a flash drive, which compromises the video itself, and then I upload it onto YouTube. So that could be a reason why it's buffering, or just, Andre, turn that down please, or the internet itself is lagging, which it has been. So either or, we'll just have to wait and see. It does eventually download and start playing. So if you're finding that it's buffering, let me know, right? And then maybe I might have to re-upload it from the Windows 7 to have all its properties. I've done it through flash drive before, transferring the video onto a flash drive and then taking it to the Windows 10 and uploading. And I don't think I have too many problems with it, with YouTube buffering, because YouTube puts me on the lower codecs anyway, just like they shadow ban me and remove views from my videos or whatever they do, they also give me the lower codecs, which is the bandwidth that runs the video through the frames, right? They've been sabotaging me since fucking day one. Well, the foundation. And they used me to sabotage the foundation by doing all the things that they've done over the years to accomplish that goal. So, before I get on with this meat, I have to get these jars off this little teeny weeny workspace that I have. And then after I, got off my video there and started converting it and doing all that stuff, I thought about it and I'm like, hold on a minute. This mango is already canned. And if I remember correctly, one can that I was aware of had citric acid in it, which is a white powder that is the equivalent of using lemon juice. To which this product in the can would have been pre-treated to bring up the pH. I forgot about that when I was doing the video, my last video. However, my last video is still important though, because, you know, people would just jump right in and maybe just start canning mango without realizing that the pH isn't spot on for what you want to do in terms of water bathing. So I looked at the can here. Now this brand is mango pulp, which basically runs through a sieve. Right? Now I want it for smoothies. What else you going to do with it? Apparently you can make mango curry. Sounds good. Might attempt that one day. But I'm thinking more along as a base for smoothies. Okay? Because mango blends well pretty much with anything and everything when it comes to a fruit, and I would assume it probably blends well with vegetables. So in the meantime, I'm like, well, hold on a minute. I know one of these cans, I'm not sure which one, and then I think I have a different brand as well. But right now Walmart is carrying this brand, but I'm pretty sure I have another brand of mangoes. And I remember reading one of them, or if not both of them, had citric acid, which would solve my problem in terms of between the amount of apples that I have in this with their pH and with the pectin, the amount of mango that I put into the pot would neutralize any possibility of having a low pH. Okay? So I don't need to heat it up. That's what I'm trying to say. If I would have used fresh mango, then yeah, maybe I might have to heat it up, being that I didn't put no lemon juice in there. But now we know. Okay? Now we know. If you're using fresh mango that are really ripe, you're going to have to use some kind of lemon just to be fail-safe. If they're green, well, their pH is better, right? In terms of you don't necessarily need to use the lemon, but it probably still is recommended. Whereas the citric acid is already, the lemon is already in here. Only they used it in a man-made form through citric acid. So this one has mangoes, 95%. Sugar, they call it sucrose, which I'm probably thinking is just a normal sugar, a white sugar of some kind. Water and citric acid. So we're good. Okay, I don't think it deteriorates. I don't think you have to add it back in when you're repurposing, especially if you're adding it in with a whole bunch of apples. Okay? That's what I think. Now this one has mangoes, water. It says sugars with an S. Mango pulp. And then they added absorbic acid and citric acid. So they double dosed this with an acid to get it at the right pH so that you can eat it right out of the can. Okay? Now I know I have citric acid here, and I do have absorbic acid, but I haven't really been canning, and I use the absorbic acid when I'm like peeling pears or something like that, and I want to let them sit in water so they don't brown. I think you do that with peaches if I remember correctly. I mean, some of this stuff I haven't done for years, so you know, I get these little patches of memory loss because it's not like I do it every day. But other than that, I've never really put it into my jars. If it was handy, close by, I suppose I could. But I think it's like, I think the citric acid, I think the citric acid is more suitable for canning than absorbic acid. Absorbic acid, I think, is more to control the color of the food, right? So, versus adding the acid itself, like in replacement of lemon juice. you don't use, like in a quart, if I remember correctly, because I've read up on it, right? For a quart of mangoes, we'll say, for example, you'd probably put in, it's either 1/8 or 1/4 of a teaspoon of the citric acid. Yeah, I think so, right? Whereas the absorbent acid, I think, is more used to control the browning of the fruit, okay? And when you buy this stuff, it comes in a big bag, and you can clean with it and everything, right? So, I mean, there is that route. You can can mangoes with probably the citric acid at 1/4 or 1/8 of a teaspoon per quart, versus having to use a 1/4 cup of lemon juice in with your mango in a quart. That's a lot of lemon juice in a quart. Okay, I'm just saying. So in this sense, it would make probably more sense to think about maybe getting some citric acid, absorbic acid, if you plan on canning fresh mango. And of course a bottle of lemon juice. And then you can decide from there how you want to balance out the pH. Okay? Whereas when they're coming in on a can, it's already in there. I don't think it would deteriorate when you open the can. I don't think so. Right? I think it's already been neutralized to that pH level to where it needs to be. So recanning it, I think, would be fine, especially if you're going to add it in with a whole whack of apples and even throw in some extra sugar. To which the first batch I did, it didn't need no sugar, absolutely none. Okay, it balanced out in terms of taste, really good. Where this one, I just wanted that little extra sugar. I put in the 1 cup. For whatever reason, it wasn't really what I wanted, but I didn't want to throw in another cup because I wasn't trying to make it mapley. But I already did something, I think, or was it? No, I already did something with maple. What was it? What did I can that had maple in it? I don't remember. I don't know. I better have wrote it down on the lid. So if you're canning with maple sugar, make sure you... Oh, and I did. I put maple sugar in here. Write it on the lid. Okay? Write it on the lid so that you know there's a little bit or a lot of maple sugar in there. There was something else I put with maple sugar, and I don't remember. Because I've been doing too much. That's why. I did maple sugar and vanilla. I did the two together. What was it? I don't remember. I'm going to just write down, maple sugar. And I didn't put a lot in it because, one, it's expensive. And whatever I made before with the vanilla and the maple sugar, I put in extra so it comes out more tasting like a maple sugar versus like a fruit. Where this one still tastes kind of like a fruit with just a tad bit of maple sugar in it. Right? I didn't want to overpower it. But I wanted just to have that more of a sugary taste. To which, it was okay. Right? I liked the first batch better than this batch. Because the first batch, for whatever reason, was more tart, to which it probably related to the fact that the apples were smaller. The smaller the apples, the more tart they are. The bigger the apples come in, they're not so tart, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the pectin and the proper pH, because they do. It just means that they're more ripe, right? They're bigger, right? So they're a different kind of apple, because there's 3 different apples that fall from that tree. So these things are important to know. So if you plan on canning mango, fresh, get everything in order first. Have your citric acid, know how to use it. Have your absorbic acid, know how to use it. Have your bottle of lemon juice, preferably fresh, right, unopened, right? and do your math in terms of, like I said, if you're canning a quart-sized jar of mangoes, you're either going to use a quarter cup of lemon juice to balance out the pH, or you're probably going to use either 1/8, I can't remember exactly, it's either 1/8 or 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid. And you would probably use the absorbic acid to prevent browning of the fruit. Yeah. Because if you notice, they don't have absorbic acid with the pulp. They don't have it in here because this is pulp, right? Whereas here, these are slices. So they're going to want to make the slices retain their color. And the only way they're going to do that is, as it's being peeled, it's going to be sitting in a solution before it goes in the jar. To which I think, if I remember correctly, that's absorbic acid. So that's all I got to say about this. So I feel pretty good now. I don't have to worry. I'm not worried about this at all. No. And if I was, I'd take a spoonful. I would eat it first. And then I would see how I would feel the next day. And if I got sick, well, then I'd know, right? If I didn't get sick, well, I'd know, right? But I'm not even worried about that. Because this product has already been neutralized with the pH. It's already been brought up. But if it makes you feel better, you can still add in that little extra lemon juice in your pot if you don't have the ascorbic acid on hand. And if you find that the lemon juice tips it over and makes it a little too tart, just add some extra sugar. Doesn't matter what the sugar is. Yeah, and you'll be fine. So, what I'm going to do now, and yeah, I did. I ordered some more of these. Honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of spending money. Which is a good sign. It's a good sign. I told Andre, we need to stop being consumers and start learning how to make money by selling off some stuff in the house. Right? Just break away from consumerism for a while. But for something like this, while it's here right now with what's going on with our food chains, people, I'm telling you, you need to do this if you want to have it in a couple of years from now, because it's going to maybe be really hard to find. Who knows? So I did. I ordered another 10 more cans of these. I requested on that little box where, but it's more for the delivery. I don't know if it's about the ones that pick the stuff, but, avoid dented cans. So I'm hoping I get 10 more undented cans. Oh, I'm so hoping. Because then I don't have to open them up, right? I can just prep my jar, my can. I can just prep it with the stuff that's coming in to wipe them down, so to try and prevent rust, which was another video when I get everything. When I get this, and this, then we can go from product to product, from can to can, to try to see what works best. And then you can decide for yourself how you want to prepare your cans for long-term fruit storage. And then I ordered 10 more of these as well, because they came in pretty much undented. I only had 1 or 2 that was kind of dented. And this one here, I suppose if I was a man and I really wanted to squeeze it, I could. So I'm a little nervous about this can because, they're making inferior cans now. This one might dent on its own because that's what cans are doing these days. But this one, I don't think so. This one is like the good old days, right? You'd have to be pretty rough to dent this can. So I got them now, so that when I get my product to pre-treat my cans before I put them away, I can kind of just go through them all before I actually put them away, right? You see, that's the thing. And that's where things get like a little obnoxious because they pile up, right? But, Rome wasn't made in a day. I don't think any city was ever made in a day. Not that I'm trying to make a city here, but I'm making a point, right? And this stuff is all like, you know, it's kid friendly. You know, it's like you think I don't even eat mangoes, people. Very seldom do I eat mangoes. I'm not buying it for me. Who do you think I'm buying it for? Buying it for the kids. I'm sure I'll get my little juice on, but it's the kids that I'm thinking about before I'm thinking about myself, that's for sure. Now, I might attempt one day, after everything's all said and done and put away, and I've had a little while just to recuperate, you know, I might attempt a canned mango. I might. If I, you know, came across them at a good deal and they were looking good, but I would do it with citric acid or lemon juice, and I think before I'd use the lemon juice, I'd probably use the citric acid and sugar. Yeah. Because I think the lemon juice would be just a quarter cup to a quart. That just seems too much. I could see a tablespoon or two, but a whole quarter cup might be just too much. Yeah, maybe. Because I think that's what, 4 tablespoons to a quarter cup? Well, I guess that's not that bad. You'd have to put a lot of sugar in there to compensate for it. Yeah. So I'm going to get these off the counter. I don't really have no place to put them right now. Right? But I'm finding places because everything's going to go down pretty much at one time. Since my son took over the basement, life has gotten harder for me, right? Because I'm expected to do everything in one day. So if I bring down 8 boxes of canned goods, I'm expected to put them all away in one day, which is at this point impractical. But I don't mind. I know I have them. And I don't expect my kids to walk in my shoes because they couldn't keep up even if they wanted to. For everything that I've had to go through in all these years, raising 5 kids and all the bullshit that I've went through, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't be able to cope with it. That's for sure. I think about, you know, Malcolm X's mother. You know, her husband got murdered by the KKK. They put him on the train tracks and tried to say he killed himself or something stupid like that. And, you know, she had lots of issues. Eventually she had a nervous breakdown that she never recovered from. She ended up in a mental institution because of the pain, the emotional part of life. And I'm like, well, you haven't done that yet. I'm just thinking of her for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I do. And so far, that hasn't happened to me. It could have, though. So easily, you don't even know. But it's like I said, I walk with the dead and I walk with the living. And both worlds, they call me. The living want me here, except for when maybe they're angry at me and they hate me. They don't care if I die. But the minute I die, oh, that's when they'll be crying, oh, Mom's dead. Yeah, okay, whatever. But the dead want me too, right? They're calling me. They're standing there waiting. They got their hands out, I told you. And I'm like, well, not yet. It can't happen just yet. It has to happen on its own time. Not on their time and not on my time. So it makes me very, 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 very sad. Yep. But no regrets. No regrets. I have no regrets. Absolutely no regrets. These ones I don't have to can. These ones I just need to preserve the cans. And I also bought, like I said, I'm getting sick and tired of buying shit. Because a lot of the shit that I buy is for this shit. Buckets with gamma lids and Mylar bags and vacuum seal bags and oxygen absorbers and jars. You know, it just never ends. Now, I did buy, because I use the nail polish. Now, I do have like 5 or 6 bottles of bright orange nail polish that's brand new to follow up on going around. But they're so small and it's gummy and I don't know how much I really like it. And yeah, I'll use it. I don't expect it to last for very long. So I'm looking at alternatives in terms of like, well, what else can I use? So I Googled, you know, like acrylic paint, non-toxic acrylic paint, which I have tons of. Because, you know, my kids, right? And when I used to work out with the other kids in the playground and stuff, when I worked on a nonprofit and just whatever, I got tons of it. And so, but I need to be able to have a needle nose end for it so that I can just squeeze the bottle and it can just kind of go in there and it'd be kind of thick. So when it dries, right, it kind of seals it. Because if you paint it on, I don't think it's going to be enough unless you put enough on there. And then I bought this glue with its own little snout that you can just go around. And it's designed not to shrink and crack. And, you know, it can handle being frozen or whatever, right? And then I bought, I think it's a spray, I think. Some kind of a rubber sealant that doesn't shrink, doesn't crack, keeps out moisture, right? So when all this stuff comes, that'll be another video where we'll go from product to product to product and try them on the cans to see what's easier. Well, no, you see, that's the problem with me, though. I don't see very well, so it's hard. But at least we'll get a feel for what's easier to use, and what makes you feel comfortable in terms of the product itself, right?
What you talking about here?
I'm talking about preparing cans for long-term food storage. I'm talking about pH balances within mango and how you need to bring up the pH just to a certain level so that you know it's safe to eat after being done in a water bath, because the pH is at the proper level versus being a low acid food that could breed botulism. I'm talking about those kind of things.
Nice. He's been laying next to me.
Right, yeah. That's your cat. That cat likes Andre. Not so much me. My cat was Spot, but I let him go because he was too friendly. And if I would have kept him, it would have been just a matter of time before he'd be out in the yard and he'd run up to somebody and somebody would pick him up and he gave off a really good vibe. And you just wanted to cuddle that little thing and spoil it. And I'm like, no, you won't be safe in my yard. Somebody will scoop your ass up real quick. Anyone that wanted a cat, was asking for a cat, wanted Spot. So this native woman came with Tisha and her other friend. And her other friend took a cat. Tisha actually took a cat. And the native woman was holding little Spot in her arms. And, oh, I want this one and this. I'm talking. See? They get along together, these two. They don't. They just love each other and love Andre.
They won't leave me alone.
No.
Willie just jumped on my shoulder.
Yeah. Apparently that cat just jumps up on his shoulder and then hangs there like a limp rag doll. So anyway, this native woman, and she's a little elderly, right? Not too old, but anyway, she was holding him and, oh, this is the one I want. And, oh, and she's just cuddling little Spot. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I kind of want to keep him, right? Oh, she got so disappointed. And I said, look, it's okay, though. Because she goes, I said, you can have him, that's okay. But I was going to spoil that cat. And if there was a cat I was ever going to spoil in life, it would have been Spot. Because he was my therapy cat. That's what I told her. He's my therapy cat. That cat just, gets in your arms and you just, all your troubles just go away. And you feel so at peace. And she felt it too. And the guy next door that wanted him was trying to, get permission to have a cat where he was living. He wanted him. Everybody felt it. It wasn't just me. And she got, oh, and I'm like, yeah, but don't worry. I don't think I'm going to keep him, though. And she goes, why? And I said, well, because, one, I'm really busy, and I have a grandson that I need to be focusing on, and I don't think he'd be very safe in this yard. Because, he's too friendly. Just hold on a minute. Okay, so batch number 2.